Imagine a life where temptation never gets the best of you, where you can just go through each day making the right choices without even thinking about it. But that's not how the modern world works. The temptations of the modern world are many. That's why there are certain Stoic skills every man needs to learn in life if he wants to stand above the crowd. Left to your own devices, with enough opportunities, you're going to mess up and stray from the path of masculinity and virtue. Great men have what Marcus Aurelius called epithets for the self. He noted in his meditations, epithets for yourself: upright, modest, straightforward, sane, cooperative, disinterested. Stoic men like Marcus Aurelius know what they stand for, and they stick to it. They draw the line and hold it, and that's what sets them apart from 99% of other men. Stoicism is a philosophy, but it's also a set of practical skills to live by. The Stoics believed that life was complicated, and more importantly, far away from comfortable. So they developed skills to help them stay on the right path, to avoid compromising on their high standards. In this video, I'm going to detail 6 Stoic skills every man needs in life. Skill number 1. Own the morning. Marcus Aurelius writes in his meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, I'm going to do what I was born for. Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" Marcus Aurelius struggled to get out of bed in the morning, just like many of us do. But even though he didn't have to, he knew that winning the morning was essential to succeed. He could have followed the example of the emperors who came before him, who abandoned their responsibilities and lived in luxury. But instead, he chose to wake up early and work hard. Why? Because Marcus understood that a strong start to the day sets you up for a successful one. He didn't need the proverb, "the early bird gets the worm," to tell him that. So what does winning the morning look like? It starts with 3 simple habits: journaling, taking a walk, and doing deep work. Let's start with journaling. Stoics from all walks of life, from slaves to emperors, were united by seeing great value in journaling. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in his time, used journaling to reflect on his actions and keep himself accountable and humble. And Epithets, a slave who taught philosophy to the wealthy and powerful, encouraged his students to use journaling to watch over themselves and identify their weaknesses. If journaling was good enough for these great Stoics, it's good enough for you. The other practice to own your morning is to take a walk. Stoics knew that stillness of mind leads to great work. The paradox is that the best way to achieve stillness is to move the body. Runners and cyclists can attest to this fact. But you don't have to go that far or push yourself hard to get the benefits. A walk would do the job just fine. Seneca said, "We should take wandering outdoor walks so that the mind might be nourished and refreshed." Take a walk in the parking lot before work, around the neighborhood, or to the coffee shop. By the time you're done, you'll be in the perfect headspace to move to the next morning activity, which is doing deep work. Concentrate on what's in front of you like a Roman, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Do it like it's the last and most important thing in your life. Marcus learned from his stepfather, Antoninus, the art of long-term focus. Antoninus was so dedicated to his work that he even scheduled his bathroom breaks so he could stay focused for extended periods of time with no distractions. The day slips away quickly. Our good intentions go to waste. Our willpower disappears. So prioritize the important things and do them early every time. Skill number 2. Don't suffer imagined troubles. Seneca once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." So, what I advise you to do is do not be unhappy before the crisis comes. We are in the habit of exaggerating or imagining or anticipating sorrow. I want you to take a moment to think about what makes you worried right now. Your job, your family, your future, your health. It's normal to worry about bad things happening, but most of the things we worry about never actually happen. Think about what you were worried about a month, a year, or 5 years ago. How many of those worries came true? As Mark Twain wisely said, "I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened." Even if some of your worries do come true, worrying doesn't help to stop them. So don't let anxiety and worry control you. Don't let your imagination run wild. Don't let anxiety and worry get the best of you. This is one of the most important Stoic skills to master as a man, to focus on the present moment and what you can control. Skill number 3. See success and failure as the same. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting metaphor. He believed that a man, an emperor, a soldier, everyone, was like a rock. Throw the rock up in the air and it loses nothing by coming down and gains nothing by going up. The rock stays the same. Marcus's own life mirrored the metaphor. He was an ordinary man who became emperor, but he could have just as easily been deposed. Did this change him? No, he was still the same rock. And you are the same rock. Whether you have a good day or a bad day, you're still the same person. Whether you win or lose, succeed or fail, you're still the same person. These things are external to you. They are indifferent. They don't change who you are. So greet everything that life throws at you today, the good and the bad, in the same way. Rule number 4. Constantly ask yourself, is this necessary? Sometimes we live life in autopilot mode and rarely pause to actually think about what we do, what works and what doesn't, what is essential and what's a waste of time. In one of the most insightful passages in the Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "Most of what we say and do is not essential. If we can eliminate it, we will have more time and peace of mind." Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Now is the perfect time to examine your life and ask yourself the same questions. Is this necessary? Is this essential? Why am I doing this? What would happen if I changed? We should ask ourselves these questions about everything we do, say, and think. How much we work, where we live, our relationships, our beliefs, our spending habits, our goals, our schedules, and even our thoughts. Most of what we do is not essential. It's habitual or imposed on us by others or societal programming. Remember Marcus's advice. If you seek peace of mind, do less. Skill number 5. Be tough on yourself, but understanding to others. Cato of Rome, an influential conservative Roman senator and hero, was a strict Stoic. He hated excess, finery, and luxury. His brother, on the other hand, was more relaxed about these things. Cato still loved his brother, even though he didn't approve of his lifestyle. This shows that it's impossible to have strict standards for ourselves without being judgmental of others. We can accept that people have different values and choices, even if we don't agree with them. Similarly, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This means that we should be strict with ourselves about living in accordance with our values, but we should be tolerant of others, even if they make different choices. In today's world, there are many people who live in ways that are very un-Stoic. They may be materialistic, hedonistic, or even cruel. We don't have to approve of their choices, but we don't have to cut them out of our lives either. We can still engage with them, even if it's in a limited way. We can accept that they see things differently and let them live as they wish. We can also try to find the good in them, even if it's hard. Skill number 6. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Marcus Aurelius writes, "Our inward power, when it obeys nature, reacts to events by accommodating itself to what it faces, to what is possible. It needs no specific material. It pursues its own aims as circumstances allow. It turns obstacles into fuel. As a fire overwhelms what would have quenched a lamp, what's thrown on top of the conflagration is absorbed, consumed by it, and makes it burn still higher. You can choose to turn away from the hard things in life. You can close your eyes and ears to the unpleasant. You can take the easy way out, avoiding difficulty whenever possible. Or you can choose the Stoic path. This path doesn't just mean not avoiding hardship, but actively seeking it out. Imagine a fire. Everything that is thrown into it becomes flame. Obstacles are fuel. They can help you grow and become stronger. When you face a difficulty, don't try to avoid it. Instead, welcome it. Rejoice in the challenge. See it as an opportunity to learn and grow. This won't be easy, but it's the only way to truly live. Now, put it into practice. Today, face whatever challenges come your way with a Stoic spirit. Look for the good in everything. So those were the 6 Stoic skills every man needs in life. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Start taking action to implement these 6 skills starting from today. Subscribe if you want to be part of the top 1% of men.